How's it going? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Bill, and today's video is the third so far of us working on this trailer. If you haven't seen the other two videos, there'll be a link somewhere around here to check those out. But just to get you up to speed, I went to go get a utility trailer for cheap. I ended up with a cargo trailer for even cheaper, and then I got it home and started tearing it apart and realized I had a whole lot more work cut out for me than I anticipated. So this side was the worst side. Now, if you're looking at that side and wondering how much worse could it be, it was really bad. But we got this side cleaned up. We're putting our studs for, I don't know if that's what they're called, but they're, in housing it would be called studs, so we'll use that as the name. I got 3 of them tacked in. I got 2 more to go, and then we do have new skin to put on there, and that should hopefully wrap everything up on this side. Now, in the last video I said I was going to try to piece these together and cut off the rotted part and cut one of a good one down and weld them together, which I did. They're not beautiful, but they are pretty strong, so we'll get everything put together with that and see how strong it is, and if I need to come back in and put some more bracing or studs in there later to provide some rigidity, we will, but I think we're going to be okay. So yeah, just going through getting these welded in. It doesn't look like they really measured too well. They are like, oh, this is about 16 inches, and then on the bottom it's not quite the same measurement as the top. Of course, it could be the things all twisted and out of shape, but we're going 16 inches. More important one was getting this one 49 inches. So when we put that sheet there, we have a stud there that is going to line up with the end of that sheet. I think we're going to be good. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead, get these last 2 pieces tacked in there. Make sure everything lines up, everything looks like it's going to fit good, and then we'll go through, do some final welding and cleanup. So like I said, hopefully this is the last video for this side. There's a whole lot more work that needs to be done on that side as well. I'm not as pressed to get that done as I was for this side, because this side was completely falling apart. So may go ahead, get this side put together, get everything put back together so I have use of my garage again, and then we'll figure out a game plan for that. Although I'm pretty sure once I get the skin on this side, I'm gonna wanna continue on, so I'll try to refrain from doing too much. But anyway, enough of me rambling. Let's go ahead, get back into it, and get this thing figured out. Alright, so here's the new paneling. It's 0.3, I forget the exact measurements. I forget the exact thickness. It's like 0.30 or 0.03. I'll have to look that up again. I'll put it down in the comments. But I need an 8 by 58 inches tall, and the widest it comes is 49 inches, kind of like a piece of plywood, like 4 by 8. However, it comes 49 inches by 8 foot. This did come a little bit smaller than 8 foot. I think it was 67 inches, but I only need 58 inches. Ideally, I need an 8 foot by 58 inch piece. I couldn't find anything wider than 49 inches though, so instead of doing one piece long ways, I got to do 2 vertical pieces. So I just got this marked off here for my 58 inches. Cut that across. I just got these. Hopefully these will work all right for cutting. Seems like it will. Hopefully we can get through this. Yeah, these shears seem to be working. I'm only doing one sheet. I have 2 sheets here, but I'm only cutting through the 1 sheet at a time. Alright, well, I just have the piece I cut off, but it'll show the width. So that'll fit there. And there's a bit of overhang here, which is fine. And then this piece here, and this is what I was worried about, making sure that this lined up here, which it looks like we have a little bit of overlap there, and that'll line up there. I think we'll be good. Anything, this might be able to go a little bit left, because that lines up right with the edge in the center, and I actually went over a little bit more. Let's see how strong my welds are there and move that over just a smidge, just so we have a little bit extra, so I can push this forward a bit more. And then I was thinking about it. There, we overlap. We got plenty of room, we can overlap forward. Make sure we're tucked behind there. But right now, the center, the edge is lined up with the center. It'd be better if it was lined up with the edge, I think. Give us a little bit movement. So yeah, now that I think about it, and that's why I wanted to kind of see how that's going to fit before I did final welding on anything. This is just tacked in there. Although, seems pretty strong. We'll see what we can do. If I can't move it, it's not the end of the world, because I do have room here. It's just, if I had a little extra tucked back under there, it'd give me an even warmer, fuzzier feeling. But we'll get that, we'll cross that. I'll see if I can move this over just to the, like, what's that, a 1/2 inch? Just to give us a little extra overhang there. And if not, it's not the end of the world. If so, then great. And then we'll work on getting everything finalized and tacked in there, and start putting things together. All right, so we got everything in place. Just going through, doing some final welding, getting things into place. I probably got one of my cleanest welds ever down, and I changed my technique a little bit here, and it seemed to work better. So like I said, I'm not a professional welder. If you're looking for lessons on how to weld, go somewhere else. This is not the place to learn welding. But you know, it's some of you probably watching and see all these other welds on here and are, you know, cringing. But you know, the basics is you want to get a puddle going with your wire. You get a puddle, and you know, I was taught to do little C's. I know there's other like designs or patterns people use. I was taught to do C's, and I was always taught to push. So, you know, you would kind of get the puddle going and then push the puddle forward and go. I just tried pulling instead of pushing, so keeping and just kind of doing the C's and pulling the puddle, and that worked out a whole lot better for me. So I don't know, let me know down if you are a welder. Let me know down in the comments, do you push, do you pull, do you do neither? Am I completely off base? But yeah, by pulling the puddle, I guess that seemed to go a whole lot smoother for me. And yeah, it only took me, I don't know how many welds, but yeah, I've been spot welding, letting everything cool, and if coming back, spot welding, then letting things cool, then going back, filling gaps, and then coming back, filling some of those other gaps and everything, and on both sides. And I mean, it feels really sturdy. I could see that I'm getting penetration through to the other side of the metal and everything. So I think it's good, but it's just not pretty. However, if I can start pulling more like that, I'd be very happy. And I know if you are a pro welder, you're looking at that and like, oh, that's nothing, that's me on a bad day. Well, you've probably had a lot more experience than I've had. And then don't look at this booger right next to it, because that's just a horrible example. But yeah, so as I was saying, just going to continue going through filling the different spots. I probably don't need to do the entire thing on both sides. It's probably good enough, but I said just to make sure the welds are good. If I have some bad ones in there, I'll have some good ones in there too. That'll hopefully all equal out and make everything nice and sturdy. And then if things, I mean, it already feels nice and sturdy, but if if I start seeing other problems, I could start, you know, putting more braces, getting new things in there. But I think we're going to be good with this. I just got to continue going through and welding this all together. Got this back door. I think it showed in the last video where it wasn't quite shutting. I do need to just bend this. However, I haven't been able to figure out a way. I mean, it twists with a bit of force, but I can't get anything in there lodged good enough to force it and twist it back. But I think once that's twisted, this door will close with no problem. And we'll get it twisted and then get that tacked back down on that side. And I think the back will be good. There was a brace that went across that was completely rusted out, so I cut that out. It was like this one, so I'll have to do the same thing. Cut that off, and once I get that back into place, do a new brace there just to keep it like the tops are. And I think the back will be good. And then we just have to worry about that side eventually. Anyway, let me get back to going along here and welding these things in, and we'll see how it goes. All right, so back out at the garage again. It is cold. Sorry if there's a bunch of noise from that, but I'm waiting for it to heat up. We're almost up to 50 out here, so it's getting there. Kind of sucks because it is a propane heater, so I got to let some air flow through here. So it's a mix of cold air and hot air coming in, but it does eventually get warmed up in here. But I got our first piece, and I just got it sitting up there. It does have a protective film on there, so it'll look cleaner. And then once we tighten it down, we'll get all these waves and everything out. So yeah, I think that's going to look good. Now, at the end, we do have, and we don't want it to be wavy or anything like that. So what we have is this ridiculously oversized box to take care of that. And when you see what's inside, you're going to realize just how overpacked that is. Ridiculously packaged for what it is, but it gets the job done, I suppose. So yes, all that packaging for one single J-channel piece of aluminum. We'll go, once we cut it down the side, we'll fit right behind there and give that a nice smooth ending to this. So, gotta get that cut down to size. Went ahead and took the door completely off here so I could grind the rest of this paint down, get this back down to metal, get all this grinded, cleaned up, and then I'll take this panel back off. I'm going to treat everything, prime everything, paint it for some rust protection hopefully, and because I'm going to change this from white to black also. So I'm going to get this all cleaned up and primed, get everything finished, primed up, paint it, and then we'll start putting everything together. So for now, it's just more grinding. I take this back off, finish cleaning up all my welds, and get everything primed and start working on putting it all together. Alright, so every time I think of getting close to wrapping things up, I started grinding all the paint and rust and everything off here. Then I got back around to this part and I was like, yeah, I should get that squared away now and get this finished welded before I do anything else. So thought I was almost done, so then it got back to here. So I put a strap there. I was pulling that forward underneath and using my little persuasion tool here, and got that side straightened out a bit, and now this side's actually curved too far in, so I gotta try to pull this end out to create somewhat flat straight across there on the back end, which looks like I might have pulled a little too far in the middle, but it's a lot better than it was where it was super tweaked. Now the problem is though, this was sitting kind of flat and level with everything because it had been bent up for so long, and now trying to get that bent back down without bending everything else out. Just a bit of trial and error using some straps. I'm gonna keep that strap on there, get another one, find something over here I can connect to on the wall and kind of pull it out that way while that's still secured, and then hopefully we'll get things squared away. But we're getting there, we're getting close. So, I mean, we'll have this side and the back cleaned up. But yeah, every time I'm like, oh, I'm almost done. I get ready to start doing the next part, and then I'm like, oh wait, yeah, I forgot. I still gotta do this. Back at it. And yeah, that persuasion tool was quite handy in getting this, because just trying to use that ratchet strap, put a little bit on there, but I wasn't able to get enough force on there to completely pull it, but a few taps with that and it kind of stayed in place now, so very helpful for this. So let's go ahead and loosen this strap just to make sure that, well, there's quite a bit of tension on that still. Let's see where we're sitting. So yeah, the bottom's still bent out a little bit down there. Not as bad over here now. So actually, yeah, I should be able to just kind of beat on that with the big hammer and get it kind of where I need it to be now, I think. And once we do, I'll get this corner welded up. I got my piece that I've been cutting metal out of. I'll cut a end cap off of there to cap that off, and should hopefully be good to go. All right, so we are making some progress. I got some primer on everything. Did hit this black back part with some gloss black before I put the piece up here, because that will be exposed. So I wanted to hit that with some gloss black. I can see kind of went overboard, but yeah. So, and I have the J channel down there with some black paint too. Just figure it all blend. I didn't want the one chrome piece, raw aluminum piece showing, so hit that with some primer too. I have coat of black on it. Waiting for that to dry so I can flip it over, get the other side as well, so there's no raw aluminum poking through, and it'll just all kind of blend together. I don't think I said anything about what I ended up doing here. This was in there pretty good, and I didn't want to ruin it by cutting it out again, so I just left it in, and I took the extra piece from over there that wasn't connected to anything and put it in here. So doubled up this, made it extra wide, and then now I can just go to the screw, put the screw holes to here, and we have plenty of room so we can push this panel forward. I went ahead and marked the tops where all my studs are, so when I'm putting screws in, I know where to align them. So yeah, just waiting for some paint to dry now. I'll do another coat here. It's not perfect, but yeah, I got this welded together, got the end plate on there, and that's all together. Still need to twist the middle a little bit some more, but figure get this on this side lined up and everything good. That makes it that much easier to get that side exactly where we need it. So yeah, just waiting for paint to dry right now. Once that dries, we'll get this sheet up there, start getting some screws in there, getting everything lined up, and we should be good to go. I do need to get some panel adhesive also. There wasn't any on here, which I guess is fine. Didn't really have any issues other than well, everything rusting out. So I don't know, maybe I won't use any adhesive other than in this joint. But originally there wasn't any. I guess we'll see what we'll do here. But yeah, just waiting for paint to dry. I probably should get out of here before I have too many more fumes. So I'll check back in. All right, we are making some progress. So got everything painted up. Got first piece in place. We got our J trim here. So that's all gonna fall in place and be a nice termination at the end here. And now I'm just kind of going forward. Came down 4 inches, got the top row in, came down 4 inches, going straight across, kind of flattening everything out as we go. Then pull this, do another 4 inches down here. Then we'll come back, come down 4 inches, do another row, and so on until we have this completely smoothed out. I gotta pull this down as I go. I don't want to get any of the plastic stuck behind. Ideally, I'd love to just pull it all off at once, but I draw my lines on there. I just want to, the only reason I say ideally get to pull this all off at once is just to be really satisfying to do so. I have a small thing about peeling things like this where it is quite satisfying, but I'm just going to do it little by little. That way we can have our marks on there. We're not messing anything up as we go down. And then we'll make sure just we get everything as smooth as possible as we work our way down. So kind of working our way down and forward, down and forward, down and forward. And then we get to the other piece. We'll do the same. We'll go from the front back and it'll overlap. And well, actually I can't put a screw here yet because that's going to be overlapped in where the last row goes for that side. So glad I started this video before I started putting screws in there. So yeah, it'll just be these 3 rows. We'll get down and then yeah, we'll get that other piece cut and put in position, and we'll get that on there and the side will be done finally, hopefully. I say that, but who knows what we'll uncover along the way. Hopefully we're almost done with this. So I'll start throwing the screws in, and they're just these self-tapping screws. I went with a hex screw because of how many issues I had with that 10-point screw. I think these will be perfectly fine and I'll be happy with these. So I'll just continue doing that, working over and down, get that as smooth as possible, and hopefully we are good to go. All right, so I can even see myself in the reflection even in the camera. So yes, we have a nice panel on here. Got 2 rows of screws done. I left about a foot at the bottom where I didn't screw anything in yet. So if we go over to the other side, you see originally I had like this panel on the outside kind of clamping the skin to the frame there. And I was going to do something similar. I didn't want to put any screws in at the bottom yet until we get the bottom panel that we're going to put on there, because I have an idea of what I want to do, but I'm not sure how much it's going to cost me. So I'm just leaving my options open right now because I've already gone way over what I was expecting to spend on this thing, and like I said, it's still only halfway done. So yeah, but this panel is on there. I think it looks great. It looks much better than the rest of the trailer. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get this other piece cut down and get that slapped up, and then we'll start screwing that in, and hopefully that continues to go as smoothly as this one did. All right, so we've got the panels on. I think it looks really good. I just have this fender sitting on there right now on jack stands because now I'm at another one of those decision points. There's nothing really wrong with that fender. Could use a little cleaning. For some reason I was cleaning all the sealant and the adhesive they had off the backside, and the last time at some point they used some kind of silicone that never dried, so I got silicone all over me, all over everything. But That still needs cleaned up. I was just getting everything in place before I finish these bottom screws on anything to make sure I knew. Hey, ladies, I'm trying to make a video. Really, you're being rude. Excuse you. Anyway, yeah, the chickens are finally over molting and the weather's warming up, so now they're becoming quite active. But anyway, as I was saying, so yeah, I mean, fender, that's where it'll go. Kind of, it needs to be cleaned up, needs to do something, or I could just replace them. See, like I said, one of those things that there's nothing really wrong with them, but in comparison with the rest, they don't look great. But I think I'm just going to clean them up and do like a bed liner texture on them, maybe, then call that good. Now, I was hoping to have everything wrapped up in this video. That's not going to happen. But yeah, I mean, this side, everything's intact and looks okay, but then the front doesn't look great now. The top doesn't look great. Then this side looks significantly better. So I do have the pieces that I cut off that I can redo these corners. But then it's like, oh, if I'm redoing the front corners, I might as well do the front sheet. And then it's like, well, if I'm doing the whole front and that side, I might as well go ahead and do this side. These are the struggles that I have. This was supposed to be a simple project, and now, yeah, I'm thinking, no, do I need new fenders? Do I need to redo the rest? And then it's like, oh, well, I've done everything else. Maybe I should just redo the top. It's a never-ending struggle. But I do one thing, regardless of what I do, I need a new trim piece here. I have the original one. I was originally going to reuse that because I got the new plastic inserts. But this thing's just too beat up and this needs to be replaced. So I ordered a new one of those so that we can wrap that up. And then if I'm putting that on, I might go ahead and replace this corner piece here in the process, since I do have enough to do that. And I still haven't figured out what I'm going to do on the bottom here. And these are the original plates that were on there. More of that silicone, but yeah, those things are rusted out and probably not going to reuse those. Might do like some diamond plating or something along the bottom. And then if I do that, then it's like, oh, well, got to do that on this side. And, oh, if I'm doing that on this side, I might as well do it all. Anyway, still a struggle in my mind on how far I'm going to go with this thing. That being said, these side panels are on. It's actually sitting on its own weight now on the wheel. I got these jack stands, but they're just holding up the fender in place for me, so I can get everything lined up and figured out what I want to do with that and see how everything looks. Like I said, I'm probably just going to keep the fender and do like a bed liner, like a textured bed liner on it, clean it up some, do that and call it good. On the inside, we don't want to look at this side yet. On this side, we're looking pretty good. You can see some light at the bottom because I haven't attached the bottom. I did spray some rust converter on everything in here on this side. I haven't done it on this side yet, but yeah, I'm gonna come back through, hit that with one more coat of the rust converter and then paint it to protect it, and we should be good. So just wrapping up, I don't even know where this video started. I know I've been all over the place, but we've got the side of the trailer all nice and done. Everything's secure. We got to do some hole fillings up there. Once everything's plugged up, we got to put our fender on there and then finish the screws on the bottom, and then just screw on this piece here, or the new piece, replacement piece for that there, and then this side will be completely done. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the thumbs up button, leave a comment down below, and if you'd like to see more videos like this in the future, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.